Hello and welcome to Sex, Love, and Soul. I'm Mary Knight. I'm so glad that you're here. It has been a while. This is just going to be the introduction to an audio. This is an audio that I just recorded today because I was thinking about some things that had been discussed with me in the coaching calls that I've been doing over these past couple of weeks. So if I'm mentioning an issue that you brought up with me, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking in general terms about the topics that were discussed with me by not just one person or even just two person, but by several people. I have not put out a video in I think 3 weeks. January has started off with a bang. How do I want to say this? Someone in my social circle passed away, so there's been that. And then also my dog had to have surgery. So my husband's out of town, so I have been with the dog, taking care of him by myself. He weighs only 30 pounds, but I've had to take him up and down the stairs. And 30 pounds doesn't sound like much, but when you're trying to schlep a dog that doesn't really want to be carried by you up and down stairs, it's a little much. But it's emotionally taxing too. But anyhow, it's been taking up time and energy. Other than that, things are going great. I just wanted to pop in so you can see my face again, see that I'm still here. And I have other videos that I actually have recorded. I just cannot seem to release them. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's just some mindset stuff, some emotional stuff, some things really close to my heart that I'm having a hard time with the idea that so many people are going to know about it. So I'll get over it. I'll work through it. It'll happen. But thank you so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that now. Okay, enjoy. And I'd love to hear from y'all. Mary at sexloveandsoul.com. Let me know what you think. Okay, bye for now. Some women seem to have lost their dang minds when it comes to what is an acceptable, appropriate first date, second date, third date. And that if y'all aren't willing to go all out and spend a lot of money on a first date, these women think that you don't take them seriously. I don't recommend spending $200 per person to go and take this woman on a first date or even a second date, because then you don't know if she's really into you or into what she thinks you can do for her. You don't need all that razzle dazzle of some nice ass expensive steakhouse to impress her. If that's what she needs, she's not the one for you. I'm hearing from y'all in coaching calls, women are being influenced by this bullshit on the internet about if he's taking you out on a coffee date or just a glass of wine, then he's trying to get over on you. He's trying to get something for nothing. So where does that come from? That's such bullshit. A confident woman, a woman who is secure in who she is as a person, does not need some fancy display to feel validated by a man. Because the idea of a date is to get to know the other person. And if you're trying to sometimes do this big thing where you got to get all dressed up and make all this effort to get to this place, like a really nice restaurant, that takes effort for everyone concerned. And there's so many women that instead of getting stuck at a 2-hour or 3-hour dinner with somebody, I would rather just go and meet for a drink. I would rather just go and have a smoothie or a cup of coffee. Absolutely, because it's pressure on everyone concerned. And it's not about a man being cheap. It's about a man knowing his value and about a woman knowing her value. And again, if a woman needs all these displays for a first frickin' date, she's not the one for you. And I know some of you are saying that these women are being influenced by these social media dating coaches for women, telling women he needs to do this, he needs to do that, or he's not high value, or whatever the frick, whatever terms people use. I don't watch that shit because it's garbage. So I don't watch other people's dating information. I have 3 people in this sphere that I pay attention to. Sadia Khan. I haven't listened to Coach Corey Wayne in a long time, but I've been compared to him several times, starting from way back, starting 12 years ago. So I like him. And then there's another guy, Ed, somebody that I really like his stuff a lot too. And they're the only ones that I kind of keep. And I don't even really keep, I go in waves. But every now and then I'll kind of catch something because y'all will tell me or send something my way. And so I'll take a look at it and I'll watch a few minutes of it. And I can tell, I'm like, this is absolute fucking garbage. And you're like, oh, women are being so influenced by these people. And my first inclination is, do you want a woman who can't think for herself? Do you want a woman who is so malleable that it depends on who she's in front of, depends on how she behaves? I mean, you want her to be agreeable with you and to be able to go with the flow and have fun. But she also needs to know her own mind and not be so easily influenced and swayed by the fucking internet. And everybody, I know you're watching me on YouTube, but people are spending way too much time on devices of all kinds. And I know that it's a habit, and I was a pattern, especially for younger folks, because for people like me that were born in the 60s, I was in my 30s before I had a cell phone, and I resisted it. I did not want a cell phone. I was an escort before I had a cell phone, and I had prepaid minutes. So, I wasn't on my phone very much at all, and it was just a telephone. I didn't grow up like that, so I have an advantage of not feeling so tied to my phone. Yeah, we're so into our phones and so into social media and so into consuming this content that's on social media, and that people become easily influenced by the things that they see and that they hear. And that's why so many women are being brainwashed into believing that if a man isn't going to spend $300 on a first date, that he's just a shitbag. And then the same thing with men are being brainwashed just as much. And it's very sad because y'all are being brainwashed into being sexless. And thinking that women want men who are not men. You are being brainwashed into thinking that your sexual desires are equal to putting women in danger. That your masculinity is a threat instead of just being a natural part of everyday life. We're being taught that anything threatening, anything that contradicts our point of view is dangerous or violence. And that, I can feel the anger welling up inside of me when I think about that, because that is not true. And I talk to so many of you that are just hurting because instead of feeling like, hey, I'm a man, I've got desires, I've got wants, needs, instead of really knowing yourself and understanding your thoughts, your feelings, your needs, your wants, instead of understanding all the nuances of life, it's like y'all are expected to just behave like mute eunuchs. You're being brainwashed in 2 different ways. Into thinking that you need to treat a woman like a princess. And if you don't, somebody else will. So you better do that. And in that same category is if you're not 6'2" and don't make well into the 6 figures and have 6-pack abs, that no woman wants you. You're being brainwashed into that. Some more things to diminish your confidence, to keep you small and playing small and thinking bad things about yourself and your masculinity. Right? You've got that. And then you also have these other coaches that are really gross, and shame on them for acting like women are trash, and that women that want and need things from you, well, they're just garbage and they don't deserve it, and that a woman has to earn sex, and that a woman has to earn the right to be around you, and if she doesn't come willing to get down on her knees for you on the first date, then she's just trying to use you, and so there's no need to pay any respect, and just like crap like that, and that you are the prize, you are a prize to be won, and so is your sexuality and having sex with a woman. It's that she has to earn that. But whatever side you believe, whatever path you're following, you end up in the same place. You end up, you're alone, disconnected, with an empty spirit. In order for you to participate in some of those behaviors, like the thinking that you're the prize and having sex with you is a privilege and that a woman has to earn that, that is estrogen-fueled talk. This isn't to say that you're not awesome. It's to say that naturally speaking, men don't think of themselves as a prize to be won. That doesn't make sense for nature. The only place that you see that playing out is in porn. Because it's a male fantasy. That's what that is. That's how estrogen behaves for a good reason. Estrogen behaves like that because for a woman to have sex, she can risk getting pregnant. And then she's got 9 months where her body is doing all this crazy stuff. And then towards the end of it, she can't work. And then for months, she's not able to work and take care of us. So like it's a big deal, right? There's a reason nature created us that way. The idea that a woman would come to you and believe that she has to earn the right to suck your dick, that is a porno fantasy. And so those coaches that are promoting all that nonsense, they're doing it because they know that's what you want to hear. And sure, that can be achieved in some ways with some women. But is that the kind of woman that you want to be with, spend your time with? Someone who's going against nature like that? Someone that needs you to be in your feminine energy? Because that's what that is. That's feminine energy. That is not masculine energy. Testosterone does not think that it is the prize. If it did, there would be no one populating this planet. If both sexes were behaving that way, none of us would be here. So it's a balance, it's a dance, and it was created the way that it was created for a reason. And what we've done in our culture, we've done a damn good job of perverting all of it and making it where everyone's confused, nothing makes sense, no one is getting what they want. Women are falsely playing hard to get. Men are falsely playing hard to get. No one is being real. No one is acting on their true feelings. Now, that's why I get so many coaching calls and emails from y'all asking me, well, I've been on these shitty dates and I'm on these dating apps. I've been on all these shitty dates, or, I'm having this, what I think is a great chat with a woman, and then all of a sudden she disappears, and I can get a first date, not a second date, because, I've had women telling me, if you're not willing to take me to such and such nightclub and steakhouse and this and that, then I just don't have time for you. And so y'all are thinking, I'll just start seeing escorts. I'll get a sugar baby. I'll get a Russian bride. And I get it. I understand where you're coming from with that. And it is a solution, but I think of it as a short-term, shallow solution to a pretty deep and potentially long-term problem. Because not every woman behaves this way. Maybe women on dating apps, then get the fuck off of those apps. And then I've gotten emails from y'all saying, male dating coaches are saying, yeah, mother effer, just go up and cold approach these bitches. And, rude, but, and then y'all are saying, well, I don't want to because I'm probably like the 20th guy that's gone and hit on this hot woman that night. And what that tells me is that you don't think you have anything to offer a woman. Because a man who thinks he has something to offer would go up and go, hey, hi, can I buy you a drink? Or whatever y'all's smooth ass lines are. And if you feel like you have something to offer, then your frustration is different because you're like, there's no great women out there to meet. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. But these days, because of the way that our culture is arranged and all this kind of stuff, especially if you're not close to your family, don't live by your family, or if you don't go to church or synagogue or temple or the Gurdwara, whatever, if you don't do that, that's how people used to meet, right? Your parents knew people, and now we're all just so far away. And most of us wouldn't even respect our parents' opinions anyway. Because our parents, whether you're a man or a woman, they're not going to look for the most physically attractive person. They're going to go more on values and personality and future prospects. Where y'all now, especially if you're on dating apps, what are your criteria? You're looking at someone's picture and seeing how attractive she is. Physical attraction is important. Of course you're going to be attracted to pretty and soft and feminine. But back to my point, parents aren't going to pick somebody for you, some woman that's a hoochie wearing a short dress with her tits hanging out. That's not going to be the woman that your parents are going to choose. And I'm not saying that's the woman you're going to choose either, but just, trying to make a point here. This isn't just a male problem or a female problem. We have been conditioned and programmed to believe all kind of nonsense. You just have to take a break. Sometimes you have to take a few steps back because you're better off being alone for a while until you can start feeling better about yourself and spending some time figuring out what you really want than being in a relationship with a toxic woman. Just the same as women are better off alone than being in a relationship with a toxic man, because that can turn your world upside down. Who you pair up with, who you live with, who you have children with, for men or women, it matters more than anything. Okay, I have said enough. I appreciate your listening. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that right now. It's easy, it's free, it's fun, and you just might learn something. Also, I have a book. It's available right now for $8. You can find information about that in my show notes or on my website, sexloveandsoul.com. It is all about how to turn nice into sexy. I'm available for one-on-one coaching if you're so inclined. You can also find information in my show notes on my website or sexloveandsoulcoaching.com. Okay, thanks again and bye for now.